Well, and why don't we start there with these QR codes, Alipay? I mean, there's some interesting businesses that are actually coming out because of this pandemic, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah, we can mention everything related to e-commerce, for example. So delivery services, especially food delivery services, as people didn't go out to restaurants anymore, and also everything related to online entertainment. So we can mention social media and influencers, of course. For example, the traffic on Douyin, which is a Chinese TikTok, has more than doubled for some accounts. And like they are, for example, online sports platforms, remote work and study platforms that are very popular right now. And of course, not to mention the video game industry, for which the pandemic is kind of a blessing. And among all of this, the big new tech trend to follow is live streaming, which is extremely popular right now.
Steffi, you know, it's interesting. I was in China back in December, and, you know, I went to pay, went out with a colleague, went to pay. He's like, you know, we don't pay that way. He pulled out his phone. I mean, that's a common way. And in some ways, it seems as though China was more equipped to deal with this pandemic. I mean, when you look at the QR codes on the phone and the capabilities that people have, it's a little bit different than here in the West.
I think we can mention some differences. The first one is, of course, Chinese people are more used to digital apps, and everything is digital. So when it comes to remote work and using your mobile phone to entertain, to pay, to everything, people are more used to it, even old people. While in the West, for old people, it will be very hard to be confined. So this is the most difference, I think.
And Steffi, looking you know, at the situation right now, a lot of these cities around the world in lockdown. What about businesses like Zoom, setting up these meetings online? So many people now working from home. This getting the collective, the team together. What about these types of industries flourishing as a result of the pandemic?
There are a lot of new applications to do remote work and meetings, business meetings in China now. And what we can notice is that some of them that are the main players in the market, they are offering free services for all the businesses, like WeChat for businesses, like WeChat for work is now totally free for businesses, which is a great opportunity for businesses in China, which are very impacted by the virus, of course.
Steffi, let me ask you about small businesses, because we're hearing a lot here in the United States about how these companies may not be able to survive without a government lifeline. What about there in China? Did smaller companies figure out ways to adapt? How did they fare?
So, yeah, of course, medium-sized and small businesses will be impacted. The impact will be huge because the operating activities almost stopped and now it's hard to recover. So for small businesses, they struggle to make payments on loans, and they will stop everything related to investment and new projects to focus on how to survive. And this is also the case for small factories, which are like very big impact for them, as they have very small financial cushion and the management is less prepared for crisis. And this will impact China's global economy as well, as because like small and medium-sized businesses make up over half of China's economic output. But now they are all trying to focus on how to survive with cutting investments and new projects.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch how all of these countries come out of all of this. Steffi, thanks so much for your insights. Really